fruits.
Okay, so
This is a VDB?
that's a VDB.
Yeah. And they don't go grow big.
They're smallish. They're smallish figs. You know, this part of my garden is a bit high. It's arid, so the figs naturally don't get as large because they haven't got a lot of access to water. I think you do have one of those anyway in your.
I do, but birds are taking more of it.
Okay, you got to net them. Yeah, the birds love them, just like we love them. The birds love them. It's very intense flavor. This one.
Oh,
dark
this
red.
is the berryish flavor.
That's the berryish.
This is more on the berryish flavor.
It's the base of the berries.
Strawberry, raspberry, and all those.
Yes, it's the base of the berries. There's better. The green Adriatic is even better in berries.
This is a different level.
Yeah, different. See, it's more complex than this one. This is straight sweetness. This has like strawberries with raspberries, with blackberries, with fig. It's mixed. Yeah, it's a
This is mixed berry jam.
mixed berry jam. Yes.
This is mixed berry jam.
Yes. Still, to me, the white Adriatic is better. Bordeaux Noir is one of the best ones I have. You know, that large one at the front.
Sorry, one thing I want to just mention, because you touched upon this, is, you know, we have like 500 square meter, 1000 square meter space. It's very important to know what is, you know, if there is a slope in your garden, what place is up, what place is down.
Exactly.
Where the water settles.
Yes,
so you
very
know all
important.
these things. You were telling me about that fig tree that you removed because the water
It's
stays
no
there.
good down there. Yeah.
You're telling me like this tree
See the difference here?
is slope. So
The
this
fruit
is very
don't get
important.
exactly. The fruit don't get very large, but see the flavor is very
Intensity,
intense,
yeah.
very intense. Because if I planted it down there, it'll get very large. It might split, but it'll taste watery.
So people should know, even if they have like a small yard. Like
You have to
500
know the
square meter
areas
yard.
in your yard.
Yeah, like which
Yes.
area is getting how much sunlight.
Exactly.
It is close to the fans. It is getting, if it rains, like where does the water flow?
Exactly.
This
So
is
you
so
have to know
important.
your wettest areas, your driest areas. Even some areas might be more sandy or more clay
Yep.
than others. You have to know your areas, and you have to strategically plant the right fruit in that area. For example, like figs like to be in a drier area. You leave them in dry areas. Citrus love moisture. You can have them down there with tropicals as well. You know, like I think lychee. I want to plant lychee down there somewhere.
Yep.
It's very deep to soil there because there's a retaining. That fence is like a retaining wall.
Okay,
So there's almost a meter to my next door neighbor, so it's very deep soil down there. Compared to here, it's clay, and it gets deeper, the sort of loamy soil. So the that's why my persimmon done. We'll get to that one.
Yeah, let's not talk about persimmons. I'm a persimmon killer.
I know. A lot of people have. I killed it maybe about 4 or 5 before I had success with this one. We'll get to that.
I need to have a full section on that.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go there, like, okay, one more pomegranates.
Okay, so that's
that
wonderful.
is Parfianca?
No,
Savia?
that's Ben-Hur.
Ben-Hur, okay, the Australian bred, like big
Okay,
variety.
let's do that when we go down then. Yeah. You know what? Let's do this. There's not much here. Let's do these ones. So this is my.
Oh my God!
Pomelo. That's a baby tree, but massive fruits.
That is a baby tree.
That's a baby tree. Look at it. It's only
at the size of this thing.
maybe 4 years old or something.
Oh my God!
Yeah. And look at the productivity of it. You know, the reason why it's more productive, the other one had a bumper. They tend to be biannual. The pomelos, meaning that they give a bumper crop every second year. Last year had the big one had a bumper crop. It's taken a rest.
This is a tiny tree. How can it produce like these massive fruits? What's going on here?
It's a lot of mulch, feed regularly, and water regularly. Look, I haven't got irrigation in this. It's in an island, so I hand water it, and I keep the mulch very, very thick.
So this is the.
Okay, that's another thing I'm experimenting with. See that black powder? It looks like gunpowder.
That's charcoal.
They call it black grit.
Black grit.
Vasili's product. You know Vasili?
Yeah, I know Vasili.
That's his product.
Okay.
That's
So what is it made of, like black grit?
Okay,
Is it
so it's
charcoal?
made of charcoal, ground charcoal, natural limestone, which is good for you need calcium minerals, which there's a lot of calcium in limestone. So crushed limestone, charcoal, silica.
Yep.
Which is a very important sort of aspect to a lot of fruits, especially fruits that tend to split, because silica is flexible. So it prevents fruits from, it makes it like rubbery and flexible. Just micronutrients that, look, I can't vouch for it yet. This is the first time I applied it.
I've seen Doug up in Brisbane, he was also using charcoal.
Yeah, look, it's a very good product to use, Chuck. So I'm experimenting with it. But look, it's working for this tree.
Yeah, but I just want to show, like, you know, we are at the ground level, and look at the amount of mulch and all this stuff
Yeah.
Ahmed has put in here.
Yeah,
so
you can see
this is important.
Yeah. It's very moist in there. You see all the theater roots?
Yep.
They're very shallow rooted.
Citrus are very shallow and
Very
they need
rooted,
constant feeding.
That's why you need to cover them, because otherwise they'll burn if you don't mulch them heavily.
All right, what do we have?
Okay, so we'll start here, then we'll go down to the main event down there. So this here, it's just a garden bed I plant. I've just cleaned it up, and I've used the weeds and amaranth and things like that grow wild here as mulch. I've dropped them there. I've dropped them around the 2 baby citrus. This citrus I planted maybe a month ago. That's a Valencia seedless, because I want to juice an orange. I've got like mandarins.
What is your target number of citrus?
Okay, target or what I have at the moment?
Target. I have lost count, so I'm asking what is your target?
I think I've got more figs though.
Okay, more figs.
I've got figs. I've got about 7. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
2 in the front, 1 in the front?
1 in the front, close to 10. I've got about 10.
Okay.
And I've got maybe 11, 12 fig trees. So they're my sort of strongest. And even pomegranates, I've got about maybe close to 10, because we juice them. We make pomegranate molasses.
Yes.
We're very big on molasses in our cuisine. We make molasses and we use it a lot in our cooking. And plus it's beautiful to eat. So there's a few reasons why we keep juicing as well. Amazing. I've got some juice for you later on, and this weather is nice. So you can't come into an Arab household without being pampered. I don't know if this is our thing, like it's that's what we do. Hospitality is our thing. So this is Valencia seedless, baby one.
Seedless, okay.
Because for juicing.
This is the grapefruit.
This one?
Yeah.
Sorry. So that's a Valencia seedless. That's a red grapefruit. Yes.
Okay, because I see the.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. That's the Valencia seedless down there. This is the red grapefruit. This is a request from the wife. She loves grapefruit. She loves the red grapefruit. She always buys them from the supermarket. She said, "Please, can you plant me one so I can stop buying them?"
Okay.
So I planted that grapefruit. It's a grapefruit is the cousin of pomelo.
Yeah.
The smaller, very nice.
Very good for your digestion.
Excellent. Yeah. This is a bit sweeter, the red ones, than the other ones.
Mulberry.
Pakistani mulberry.
All right, Pakistani mulberry. That's mine.
The Pakistani. So I've got the washer tooth here, and this particular tree is almost 10 years old, and I've trained it. It's an Aspalia tree.
Yes.
Because that's another good idea. If you don't have space, if you don't have a lot of land in your backyard, you plant them along the fence line and you train them in an aspaliad. So if you don't know what aspaliad, you can sort of reach it and Google it. But basically aspaliads means you shape it in a 2D form. You don't allow things to grow forward or backward. You just grow them in this angle and sort of you space them out maybe half a meter or so. Depends how you can see. I've got maybe 2-3 branches this way, 2-3 branches that way. And they work very well for a vigorous tree like mulberry, super vigorous. So every year in winter, I'll prune everything you see back down to the skeleton. So all you see is a skeleton like this. You leave a few nodes, and they're highly productive.
You can't kill it.
You cannot kill it. Again, that's considered a weed in Australia or anywhere. It's a weed. It is the fastest growing, most vigorous tree that I know of. I haven't seen anything. That's 1 year old. That Pakistani is 1 year old.
That's the black one. Black one.
So so it's different. So you have the washer tooth and you have the richer tooth. That's not a richer tooth.
That's a black one.
That's so there's washer tooth, richer tooth, and there's Pakistani mulberry, which is basically long as the white and the red.
Yes, and black.
But thicker.
Yep.
So each one is as thick as my thumb.
And it's expensive.
Expensive, yeah. But have no fear, it won't die. So sometimes you get like persimmons and.
That's a grafted one.
That's grafted, yes, yes. So I planted it last year. This time I had a few fruits this year from it. Very long, almost 4 inches each fruit, as thick as my thumb, very thick, sweet, just like the wacha tooth. So it doesn't have a lot of tangy flavor, which
wacha tooth is like sugar.
Sugar, yeah. This is very similar, yeah. Not as sweet, but very similar. They're very low on acidity, which is a shame in my opinion. I like a bit of acidity in it. It's straight sweetness, but it's still impressive.
Yep.
So this one, the plan is to train it. So I've done the other one as aspaliad. This one here, I want to cut all the other branches, bend this one like this, put a stake in there, tie this to the stake, You're just going to have a main leader there, and then branches coming down, and then you pick the fruits as you're walking under, like an arch, like this. So get rid of everything and leave that, and then as you walk in, this will dangle down, and you pick the fruit. It'll look awesome. So that's, you know, I'll start playing, and eventually you get bored, you know. Mint, we use a lot of mint in our cuisine. Very vigorous. You know, I've isolated it there. Otherwise, it'll take over the whole garden.
Yes.
So, but because we use it a lot in our cuisine, we need to have mint. This is a seedless Eureka.
Okay.
Again, this is a daily.
From Delhi's.
No, sorry. No, I meant this is a daily use in our cuisine.
Daily use.
We use it daily, like lemons. Almost a daily we use it. So we have to have a lemon tree in our garden.
Do you ever run out of lemons?
This is a young tree. It's only 2 years old. The Eureka lemons are super vigorous, very, very vigorous.
That's why I'm saying, like, you will never run out of lemons.
Once this establishes, even more, probably not. Now, because this is a yearly. This lemon tree, it will basically ripen fruit at the same time as it's flowering, at the same time as it's setting. Okay. So every month you'll have fruit to pick. Right. So once you have an established lemon tree, yeah, you won't buy any lemons basically. So you can see, mashallah, it's highly productive.
It is.
It's just dripping with fruit. It's a very productive and very vigorous. Only a couple of 2 years old, I think I planted it. Very vigorous. Yeah, you've seen the white shatut, asphalia.
Yep.
Highly productive. You know this, but to the audience that doesn't know what a white shatut is, it bears fruits in clusters.
Yes.
Not single sort of berries, in clusters. So just like my fingers are dangling like this, you have 4, 5, 6 fruits in one cluster. Each one is as big as my finger, almost 4 inches long. Super sweet like sugar. Highly productive. If you like sweet things, this is for you. You can't kill it. Yep. So that's the white shatut.
All right.
I've got some mangoes there, but we'll come to that because we're gonna have to sit there for a little bit. So this is
pomegranate Ben-Hur. Oh no.
No, so that's the Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur seems to be very productive. That's the Ben-Hur. You can see it's highly productive. So this is different. This is that's another green Middle Eastern.
Okay. All right.
Different than the other green Middle Eastern. So this I think it's Iranian, Persian. This one, Persian. The other one is more Lebanese, Syrian. The other one. Green, again, very thick skin. They're ancient because, you know, they originated from that region too. Pomegranates, figs, even olives, they're all from the Levant.
Yep.
From the Levant, the Middle East, but, you know, Syria, Lebanon, parts of Turkey, Iraq, Iran, so those areas. That's where they originate from. So this hasn't been altered much by humans. You can see it's still very thick skinned, not super productive like the new varieties because they breed for productivity. But you lose on insect sort of susceptibility and things like that. But very large, very nice. This is the Ben-Hur, super productive. You can see they call it Ben-Hur because each fruit is supposed to get up to 1.5 kilos.
Yeah.
So I haven't had that yet because it's only a young tree, but very productive, very nice tasting. After the Wonderful, I would say Ben-Hur is probably for me the most productive. You can see fruits everywhere, large fruit, good sort of acidity to sweetness flavor, can't go wrong with it. Just an aesthetic thing here. The Wonderful.
Okay.
You can see it's the most productive for me. Even though there's a few branches that I'm gonna chop out this year. Again, they're sick, that branch. So you get that with pomegranate. You just cut it and it just sends another 2-3 branches. Yep. Very productive. We've seen VDB.
Is this a different fig, this one?
Oh yeah, sorry, yes, okay. So this is a highly collectible fig. They call it the Col de Dame, the tags there. It's a Col de Dame Noir, another French variety. Okay. I don't know where they got it from, but
very difficult to pronounce names. I better take the tag.
So Col, C-O-L, de means de, you know, in France. Yeah, Col de Dame Noir. So that's what it's a French variety. So the Col de Dame figs, there's a class of them. So they got Noir. Noir in French means black. Okay. So you got the Col de Dame Noir, which is black. Col de Dame Blanc, which is white. Blanc means white in France. And there's the Col de Dame Gris, which means grey. So there's black, green, grey. I've got the black one. In terms of flavor, they're all very similar, but just the aesthetics are different. One's black, one's grey, one's green. One of the most intense berry flavored fig you can get. Okay. So just you see how berry that is. This will put it to shame when it comes to the berry flavors.
But at the same time, again, I look at the productivity. Look at the amount of figs on this one.
Yeah.
Like
VDB,
this is crazy.
Yeah, number 2 after Celeste. If you are sort of a novice or beginner in figs, I would go Seedless, then VDB, hands down. Never splits, consistently productive every single year. Taste amazing, not much problems compared to other figs. So it's excellent for our climate as well. So Seedless, VDB, and beautiful tasting fig as well. So that's the Calderona. That's another fig here. This is struggling a bit, but needs a bit of time.
Vasilika Sika.
Yes, Vasilika Sika, Greek.
Okay.
So this is a Greek fig, which means just a green fig, as far as I can tell. So it stays green with an intense red inside, berry flavored, but it hasn't really, because this is an arid and dry part of my garden, so it needs time to take off. This here, so there's two figs here. I planted them in one hole. So
yep, I can see the
you can see the trunk down there.
Yep.
So one this way, one that way. This one here, it just started ripening now, like they started to expand, so I've covered them. Not ready to eat, they need maybe another 3-4 days. So this is the Socorro Black.
Socorro Black, okay.
Socorro Black from Socorro, America.
Okay.
That's where it was discovered, in Socorro, so they called it after that region, that area. Extremely collectible fig. Well, figs, as far as I know, are the most collected figs on earth. They are. There's freaks
I made
out
the
there.
mistake of joining Figs Down Under, and I see all the people like making me jealous.
No, they're just it's just a thing. It's literally like a phenomenon out there. Like people are just into wherever you go. You can go to Antarctica, you'll see someone collecting figs in a pot and under a fire or something. You know, it's so yeah. This is the black Socorro. It turns when it's green now, but when it ripens, it turns half black, half green. It's up there with the best, maybe in terms of flavors, in the top 5. Extremely berry and intense red interior flavored fig. You can see the birds have picked half of it here, but it's no good to eat. But I'll show you how intense red it is.
Yeah.
On the
Strawberry
inside.
red.
Look at the color.
And it's not even fully ripe yet.
No.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is an intense berry. So. You think this is good? This is just makes it look like a kindergarten kid. That's how good this is in terms of berry flavors. It's super red, but the bird got this one.
What about the left one?
The left one is also a collectible. They call it Calderona Fig, Spanish.
Calderona.
Calderone, you know, in the native tongue, you know, Calderona Fig, Spanish. So basically, it's Pon's favorite fig. So Pon is this. You can see here the larger ones. So it's a black fig. Once it ripens, it turns black. Very productive fig. You know, for a collectible. Usually collectibles are hard to grow. They're not very productive. This is one of the more productive collectible figs, rare figs. The Calderona. It's Pon's favorite fig. So Pons is a man that was basically obsessed with figs. He loved Spanish from Spain, and he wrote a book. One of the few books, or a few sort of detailed books anyone has written about figs, was written by him, about all the different varieties, their characteristics, their flavors, their growing regions, what they like, and that was his favorite fig. Maybe because it's Spanish and it's like, I'm not sure, but it's arguably one of the best tasting figs, if not the best. So the best one apparently is a black Madeira, which I've got one, but there's a problem with it. It's very slow growing. But this, I would say, in terms of productivity and flavor and everything, this will probably win.
All right.
The Calderona.
Moving on.
So you have here, this is all amaranth. You probably know what amaranth is.
Yeah, it is a grain type thing, and it is almost.
It grows like it's actually a weed, but we eat it. It's beautiful. You know, it's a superfood.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually a superfood, like Egyptian spinach and those other superfoods. It grows wide. It's very deep rooted. So if you pull one out, it's hard to pull. The root, it will send roots almost half a meter deep in the soil.
And I'll
use it for mulch.
Yeah, once it seeds, it will never leave your garden.
I don't mind it because, you know, at this stage, you pull them out when they get even bigger and you use it as mulch.
Yep.
And they have a lot of nutrition because they pull a lot of nutrition and things from the earth down deep. And once you use them as mulch, I believe it puts it back in the compost, and it's very good.
All right.
Okay, so this is my oldest fig tree that I planted, and the biggest fig tree. So if you come here, I've done it in an open way. I can walk right in the center. You can see the trunk. If you have a look at the trunk, it's got like a 9-inch trunk.
Yep.
It's about 9-10 years old. Yeah, 9-10 years old. You can see I'll print anything in the center to make it open and for accessibility as well, and plus for air rotation and sun exposure and all the rest of it.
So what variety is this? The white
This
Adriatic?
is the white Adriatic, which I got from Dailies. It's
How old is this tree?
9-10 years old. When I bought this property, roughly 9-10 years old. One of my favorites, for me, it's top 3. I've got like 12 varieties. This is in the top 3.
Okay.
Definitely the best grain variety I have. This is asking you, please.
Oh my God! Look at it. It is so.
It's a grenade of jelly, basically inside of it. It's a grenade of jelly. Here, let me do the honors for you. If you have one hand.
Look at this. Look at this. Is the strawberry flesh. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this thing is, mashallah, absolutely indescribable. You cannot describe the flavors.
Strawberry flesh.
Yeah, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
To me, the other one, you can eat the other one because I will drop it. Yep. Look at this thing. Look at this. You can eat that one. Look at the strawberry flesh. Wow.
Gets me every time, this one. I'll let you do the talking.
All right. I know what you're talking about. This is.
You can't explain this though. You must taste it to experience the flavor.
This is right in the middle. This is not extremely sweet.
Yes.
And it is very berryish.
Very complex in flavor.
Very complex flavors.
Yes. Very juicy at the same time.
Very juicy at the same time.
But
very jammy as well.
Very jammy at the same time.
I don't know. Like,
it's so complex, this one. So complex.
I don't know.
Yes. So it's got the intense berry. It's got enough sugars. The jammy flavors. You pick up the hints of they call it figgish flavor.
The top part of this fig is jam.
The eye, yes, God. It's full of jam. You have to have a white Adriatic. Inshallah, I'll give you one. And when it comes winter, you have to. And it does really good in Sydney. I mean, look at the tree. It's got some issues here and there, but you still get, and it's highly productive. Look at that. Look at that. It's like, highly productive, super productive. You know.
Look at the amount of figs here.
Super productive, yeah. You must have seconds, you know. It's yeah. You just bought this one. You
want me to leave this property or not?
I told you come hungry. I warned you, you know. There's a lot of figs, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yes, I know. You know, I'm not exaggerating. When I take a video, and people think, you're just making it up. No, I'm not making it up.
Oh my God, this is jam.
It's crazy. And believe it or not, there's better figs. But in terms of productivity, and this is an early variety, early to mid.
Whoa.
This is early to mid. Yes. Yeah, it's amazing.
I can't.
And if I've got a video, I can just to show your face. It's priceless. It's crazy. Yeah. So imagine walking every day in your backyard, and every time you walk past it, you pop a few of these. You know, you don't need to snack on anything else. Why would you get junk food or chocolates or anything? You know, snack on this. And you know, I don't know if you tried it. You get a piece of toast bread, butter it, grab one of these, and just smudge it.
Yep.
But who needs jam? This is God's recipe.
This is jam.
This is the best jam anyone can create. No one can create this jam.
Oh my God!
It's literally jam. From a tree on a. It's amazing. Do I need to explain myself when it comes to this fig? It's highly productive. Look at it. You know, we've been eating it for a month now at least. Often you've seen on the videos, and it's still loaded. It's still like you can barely see the leaves almost. It's super productive.
The figs.
Super productive, you know. You can see here. So all the ones that I've bagged, when they start expanding, that's the time I bag it.
Otherwise, birds will take it.
Birds will take it. The fruit fly also like it, so they do hit it sometimes.
Okay.
They do hit it sometimes, so you protect it from the birds. Fruit flies and the bird, mainly the bird. The birds love figs. They absolutely love figs, you know. And you only protect them, cover them when they start expanding. Nothing touches them when they're raw.
Yep.
Because they have a white sap.
Yep.
You know, the white sap it dissolves any insect. It's got like a substance which dissolves any material, insects and things like that. It's even irritating to the skin. So nothing bothers it. When it expands, they know it's time to attack it, and that's when you have to cover it. But you know,
we won't stop talking about.
I can talk for hours just on this fig. This is another level.
Great fig. I think Celeste is just too sweet.
Yeah, you see my point now.
Yeah, but this is like, and that is like intense berry flavor. That's like a
intense
once
berry,
in a while kind of thing.
berry candy almost.
Yeah.
Like a dehydrated
The VDB,
fig.
yeah.
The VDB. It's like a dehydrated fig flavor.
Yep.
This takes
This
it to
is
another
right
level.
in the middle. Like this is
In
like
the middle,
giving you
but
best
hits
of
the
everything.
spot. But hits the spot. It's the juicy,
Yeah.
the jammy, the berry, the sweetness, everything about it. Even it's got like a seed crunch. See that seed crunch in there? So there's a bit of texture in there. Yeah, this fig, like to me, so far, in terms of productivity as a whole, number one. I would have given it to the Bourgeois Noir. It's better than this in flavor, Bourgeois Noir, but it's for me it's late. The Bourgeois Noir. This comes in early, stays all the way till winter.
Yeah.
So you're eating all season long. So that's why for me this would be number one.
Too much.
Panache. So I've got some corn, and no one cares about that.
This is tiger panache. What do you call it?
The Panache Fig. So the Panache Fig, it's more aesthetics. So it looks beautiful. So it's a variegated fig.
Yep.
It's a variegated fig. It looks like a watermelon. So it's got like green and yellow stripes, like a watermelon, and it has similar taste to a white Adriatic. But so far for me, Adriatic is better than it.
Yeah.
It's close, but for me so far, maybe because it's still a young tree and needs time, not sure. But Adriatic's still better. But beautiful, collectible fig. If anything, just for the looks, looks amazing. So this is the famous Black Madeira.
Yep.
So this is the basically the holy grail, the cream of the crop when it comes to flavor. This is like the Pafianca of figs.
Okay.
When it comes to straight taste comparisons, many collectors say this is the best tasting fig, the most intense.
And you have
flavor.
the figs. You have the figs on it.
No, yes, they produce fig, but this it's about 6 years old.
What?
Yes, this thing here I planted the same as this fig, and look at the difference. Look at the Celeste, and look at this. It's renowned for being super slow growth. Some say it's got a virus. So when they start spreading the propagating wherever it started from the mother tree, some say that mother tree had a virus to begin with, which stunted the growth. So all the cuttings that were spread out from that tree have been stunted, and they take forever. And the only way, one of the few ways to make it productive is they cut it and they graft it on a aggressive tree, like the Celeste or something, which I'm going to do this winter.
Okay.
So I've given it a chance. I gave it 6-7 years, didn't go nowhere. Wasted 6-7 years.
So you graft figs in winter. That's the season.
Towards the end, just before they start break dormancy. They sleep in winter. So the end of winter, start of spring, when they start budding out.
September.
Yes. In Sydney, yes, in Australia, in Sydney.
All right, let's move on to
so that's done. There's another baby fig there, which I got from my collector friend, which I just planted. It's called the I258, one of the top tasting fig. I just planted it. I can't really taste it or anything yet, but it's supposed to be probably top 5 as well. That's pretty much the end of my fig collection.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the main event. Okay, so this here, I think that's a lot of people are waiting.
All right. How did you do it? Share your secrets.
I said Bismillah and I planted it.
Okay. What's going on here?
That's one of the best sort of advice I can give.
This is the most loaded persimmon, aka Fiji fruit tree I've seen
in Sydney.
It looks absolutely beautiful.
It
is almost like the branches are touching the ground.
From the weight of the fruit.
Weight of the fruit.
From the weight of the fruit. It's a Fuyu variety.
Okay.
Japanese Fuyu, a variety of figs. Everyone likes and everyone wants a persimmon in the backyard. It's a non-astringent variety of persimmons, meaning you can eat it like an apple, compared to the astringent where you have to eat them super soft.
Yep.
And just like everyone else, I had issues with growing persimmons here in Sydney. I killed maybe 3-4 of them at least. I had a friend of mine, a cousin of mine, that killed a few as well. I believe there's a few reasons why this succeeded in the end for me. Number one is the position.
Okay.
I used to plant it in the higher parts of my garden, where basically the water doesn't hold for very long in there, very dry, on a bit of a slope. It's not very moist. So I've moved it to the lowest section of my garden where it's got deep, moist soil, which this thing loves. From what I've researched, they grow near sort of rivers, riverlands and things like that, where basically the natural soil is moist full time. So they love moisture. They don't like to be left without water for very long, from what I researched. So that's part of the reason why this succeeded. Number two, protection from the sun. I had them first in an open, because you know I thought it was full sun. I had them in an open area where they had literally sun all day, like 10-12 hours of sun all day, and it just burnt it. It's like you had a torch and you burnt it. It just did not like it. Couldn't cope with the Australia. Maybe full sun in other parts of the world where you know the sun is not so intense. In Australia, the sun is very intense. It's very intense. Like you know, our 30 degrees is probably equivalent to 40 degrees somewhere else. Yep. It's very intense. Don't know exactly why. Something to do with the ozone layer, I think. But it doesn't like the Australian sun for too long. So another reason why it thrived here. Before a couple of years ago, when I first planted this, I used to have a pomegranate tree here. It died now, so I cut it off. It was a large tree, like maybe larger than this, and I planted it in the shade of that tree. So I used to get morning sun up until just midday max, 12 o'clock or so. And then it was shaded because the sun sits that way. Then it was shaded by the pomegranates. So I had nice cool conditions in the afternoon, which I believe this is what this tree requires. Does it like intense sun all day? It likes morning sun, then afternoon shade, moist soil, deep moist soil all the time too. And thirdly, I don't know how true that reason is. I got it from a different supplier, this one. So without naming names, shaming them, you know, I used to get them for a certain supplier, and they used to send me sort of, you probably know, you know, $70, $80, and the trunk is probably this thick, and it's got sort of whitish sort of paint on it or something. Maybe that's how they grafted. I believe it was a weak graft to begin with, that particular variety, that particular supplier. So this one I got it from my local nursery, Tim's nursery. So he has sort of he tends to get more rare things than like compared to.
Does he graft himself or?
No. So he gets from suppliers, but the suppliers I think that he sources out are not your typical suppliers that others get from. I think he gets it from sort of small businesses and things like that. So there's more love into it, I think. So I got this one from him, and just when I looked at it, I go, yes, this looks healthy. It didn't look tired and thin. Even you know, with the other supplier, you'll see there's only maybe one shoot on the top, small leaves, and it looks like it's already halfway dead. And when you plant it a couple of years, then it just goes backwards. This one had beautiful big leaves, multiple branches for the same price, thick, double or triple the stem, the rootstock. So I believe that's part of it as well.
Do you want to share the name of the nursery? Just
it's
shout out?
Tim's Nursery.
Okay, Tim's
from
Nursery
Campbelltown.
in Campbelltown. Okay.
Tim's Nursery, Campbelltown. You know, I'm not going to pay for this, but look, I have to say the truth. I got it from him, this particular one, compared to the others 4 or 5 I got online from other nurseries. Did not make it. So I think that's part of it. The supplier, the actual rootstock to begin with was healthier. Then you know, afternoon shade
and afternoon sun and
afternoon shade and moist soil.
Yeah.
Those three, I believe, was the success. The reason why this succeeded. And you can see.
How old is this tree now?
This tree again, maybe 6 years old. About 6 years old. Five.
Do you prune it?
COVID time, you know, about 5-6 years old.
And do you prune it?
In winter, once it's finished fruiting in late autumn. What I want to do now, see how this is getting out of reach. I'm going to chop it, you know, about this high, get rid of it, and just leave the others. And you know, prune it any way you would prune most fruit trees. Any crossing branches, diseased branches, and don't open it too much. Not the persimmon, because if it gets exposed to the sun again, it's going to burn those branches.
Same as avocados, like, you know.
Do not, yeah. So don't over prune them unless you have it in a sort of an understory sort of situation. But if you have it in an open sun, Australian sun, and you expose too many branches, it's see you later. Yeah, so don't over prune it. The only reason why I'm pruning the top is it's getting out of height.
Yeah, you need to net it and everything, protect it from fruit
exactly.
flies.
So yeah, it's a bit more practical to net and everything. I've got one more pomegranate here if you want to just sneak in. So this is Azerbaijani. That's the national fruit, if you didn't know that.
Okay.
Pomegranate is Azerbaijan's national fruit. They're big on pomegranates there. One of, to me, probably after Pafianka, this is the best tasting. Okay. After Pafianka. Productivity, highly productive. This one, you know, a couple of years ago, we got monsoon rains in Sydney. for a couple of years, summer non-stop, all summer was rain, and it affected it. You can see the trunk is you know, it's got sort of a root rot, and it affected it. So basically, I'm letting it fruit, and you can see there's new branches coming up. So after first, I'm going to chop it back to the ground and let the new babies take over. So I'm going to enjoy the fruit for this year. So this is the Azerbaijani fruit. And last but not least,
olive trees.
we have the olive trees.
First time I'm seeing olive trees in someone's like fruit forest.
Look, I don't know how about your household, but olives don't run out of my house. There's always olive jars, pickled olive jars in our house all the time. It always makes an appearance for every breakfast, you know, dinners and things. We eat a lot of olives because we come from that region. You know, olive oil is massive in our culture.
So tell me something, are these all grafted, both of them?
This is grafted, this is not.
Okay, and
they're fast growing.
And like, so I see these olives. Like, when are they ready? Like, when do you want to?
Okay, so basically, when the olive starts turning, because all olives once left on the tree to ripen, they turn black. That means they're ripening. You don't want to let them go black; they become too soft, and they don't last very long once you pickle them. Unless you want to do them like in another pickling technique where you have to eat them very quick. But if you want it to last like a very long time, years, you pick them just when they start to turn. Which is the end of summer, start of autumn. End of summer, start of autumn, which is
March, April?
February, February, March, around March, say March, yeah. These berries will start turning black. When you see that sign, a couple of them start turning black, that's when you just put your hand there and they drop on the floor, you collect them. There's a pickling process. We'll show that inshallah on the video as well once we do it. But you can see, mashallah, they're highly productive. They look magnificent, you know.
Yeah, they are looking very beautiful.
To me, it feels like I'm back in the old country, you know, like because you go to this region, everywhere you look, it's just olive trees. The Mediterranean, that's figs, olives, grapes,
Pomegranates.
That's their natural habitat. So to us, that's why you see a lot of citrus. Even citrus is big there. Citrus, olives, figs. It gives that vibe. You can see that's the theme we're going for. Tropicals, I've just recently started tropicals, which I'm sort of getting addicted to now. But yeah, this is an Italian variety. They call it Frantoio. It's a small berry, small fruits. They have a nutty flavor, very good for pickling. You can use it for table olives or olive oil. Highly productive variety, vigorous. You can see it's loaded. This is about maybe 4 years old, this tree. This tree here is about maybe 2-3 years old. This is a Greek, so we have Italian. This is Greek, Kalamata. You probably heard of Kalamata.
Yeah, Kalamata is like...
It's one of the most popular...
commercial variety,
yeah. Most popular pickled variety, especially in Australia, very popular, Kalamata. You can see the difference in fruits compared to that here. See how they're darker in color and they're elongated, longer, pointy, compared to this is a bit more roundy and smaller. So that's the difference. And the leaves are much larger compared to the Frantoio. Much larger. They're more appealing to look at, in my opinion. But this is more productive so far. This is only a young tree compared to that. That's double the age. That's 4 years. This is maybe 2 years or so.
All right, let's look at these mangoes. So what do you have here?
So this, they grew by themselves like the rest of the cherry tomatoes. They grew by themselves. This is the third olive tree. This is a Moroccan variety. It's a round fruit, and it creates like a shade. Weeping, wide, shady sort of tree, which I want so we can sort of sit under it here. The afternoon sun very hard. We can have barbecues and things. So this I planted a week ago, roughly. This is the orange sherbet. Arguably, probably one of the most. I shouldn't have it next to little, but the only reason I've done this, my little one, she started grabbing it and ripping it, so I got scared, so I wrapped it. That's the only thing I could find around. I put it in there and I wrapped it so it stays sturdy.
I haven't tasted the fruits yet, but the leaf,
I haven't tasted it.
Leaves do smell like citrus.
Yeah. Doug reckons he ate the ripe ones about a week ago. He told me, he goes, probably the best he's tasted.
Yes.
And according to mango, because mango is a bit of a thing as well. People collect them, you know, from the States. A lot of people that are into them. They reckon this is up there. You got the orange sherbet, lemon meringue, lemon zest. There's citrusy,
coconut cream and
yeah. But apparently the citrusy ones are more desired, more sought after in terms of flavors. So yeah, this is the orange sherbet. I just planted.
Another mango.
That's the Valencia Pride. I planted that in winter, last winter. You can see it's making new shoots. It's doing okay. And the reason why I've left this, because this will provide shade, because this is very vigorous. This it's a wild cherry tomato, so it's going to crawl all over the trunk. It's going to protect the trunk from the afternoon sun. Otherwise, you'll start burning the trunk, and the tree will die. So I planted it in winter, and already you can see this is from there to there. It's about 6 inches of new shoots. Then the new shoots is making new shoots.
Yep.
Same here. You got 4. So it is vigorous. It's supposed to be vigorous, and for me, it is vigorous. It's about 4 or 5 months old, and it's already got about 6 inches of growth. And there's new growth coming out. You can see here. There's new shoots coming out of it. So it is vigorous, and it produces very large, very productive. I haven't tasted it myself, but I want a fast-growing tree here to shade the shed from the afternoon sun. And you can imagine here if we're having like a breakfast or dinner, and you have these mangoes dripping. It's just it's amazing.
So in terms of fertilizer, what do you do?
Sorry?
What fertilizer do you use?
Okay, I'll show you the fertilizer here. This is the fertigation system that I use. I bought it if anyone's interested from Easy Flow online.
Okay.
It's I think a company based in Juru, Sydney.
Okay.
So that's an irrigation shop that sell online all sorts of irrigation items and systems, and you buy this online. It's about $300 for this drum.
Hold on, what's going on here? Like you bought the fertigation system?
Okay, so the fertigation system, which is just that drum there, it comes with some of the fittings needed to connect it back to the tap.
Okay.
That's on its own, but then all this and the irrigation system I've done myself. I just got it from Bunnings, from the warehouse. I ran it myself, and then you connect the fertigation system to your irrigation system. You can see there, so see these little houses? That's all it is. So one
will put the water in.
One is straight mains water goes into the drum, which you have concentrated liquid fertilizer in there. Then there's an outlet that goes back into your irrigation system. So you can see here, so if I turn, it's on a timer, it's on now. So the water goes in there, mixes with the liquid fertilizer, then comes out through there, mixes back with the raw water, and goes back in the irrigation system, and it saves you a lot of headaches, a lot of...
So what if I don't want to use the fertilizer, I just want to do the watering? Like how do you...
You're saying just irrigation?
Just irrigation.
Yes, yeah, so basically, you buy a roll from your warehouse, your hardware house, of this irrigation method.
I'm just saying, like, do you fertilize every time? Do you irrigate?
Okay. So for me, if I don't want to fertilize it, it's got valves. Yeah, see those mini valves? So off, it's straight water now.
Okay, right.
So it's very practical. So when you want to fertilize, you switch the valve on, fertilizes.
Okay, even if you are irrigating and if you are not using it, the water will go through those pipes, but it will not mix.
If you turn those little valves off, it will bypass the whole system.
Okay, right.
Yeah, because the inlet pipe, that's the inlet pipe from the tap. Once you turn that off, that's it.
What is the capacity of the system?
The capacity system, off the top of my head, not
like
sure.
2 liters,
but basically, the actual system itself, I think it's about 3 liters.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 3 liters. But 3 liters of concentrate, so I'll put sea salt in there and organic liquid fertilizers. So from a full 3 liter drum, they reckon it'll break into about 400 liters of fertilized water. For every 3 liters of concentrated liquid fertilizer, produces about 300 to 400 liters of water.
I need something
which
like
is,
this.
it's amazing. Look, once I went this way, I will never go back.
Yeah, you just fill it up, open up the...
That's it. So you open up the cap, you pour your sea salt, whatever you want in there, shut it back, turn the timer, walk away whenever you want to fertilize. And it's, every because 300-400 liters, it will last you almost the whole season.
So what do you... Okay, the last question I have is... How can people reach you out if they want to follow what you are doing?
Yeah, so we've recently, at the request of my kids, usually I'm very private. I don't like doing sort of anything like that, or even in my own channel, I don't really show my face. We keep it private, but for you, that's I'll make an exception. So they convinced me to open up a YouTube channel, They said, Dad, look, you love gardening, Mum loves cooking. Just open up a channel and just put it out there. And so we did. They opened it for me. I don't know anything about, I'm a bit of a dinosaur when it comes to tech and things like that. They opened up a channel for me. They named it. They called it Dad's Super Saiyan Garden. So if you go to YouTube, you search for Dad's Super Saiyan Garden, one word.
It will appear on the screen, so no issues.
It will appear, yeah. Dad's Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan, so that's an anime superhero. It's from Goku from Dragon Ball. I grew up watching it actually. It's still going till now apparently, you know. So Dad's Super Saiyan Garden, and basically we do videos. I do take care of the gardening, anything gardening, whether it's aesthetics or fruits or veggies, anything like that. The wife does the cooking, so I'll bring her things from the garden, whether it's eggplants or chilies or antipastas or just traditional dishes. She cooks it and we document it and we'll put it online.
One bonus question, what is the fruit that you are really looking forward to that you haven't had yet?
From my garden?
From your garden. It should grow here.
From my garden, at the moment, I've had this mango. This year it'll be Nam Dok Mai.
Okay.
For this year, but if I had to pick one from my garden at the moment, it'll be the orange sherbet.
Okay. And black Madeira Fig?
I've had it before from my garden, but I refuse to judge it because it's a weak tree. So it can't produce the right flavors in there, and so it wouldn't be fair to say no, it's not as good as they say. Because my tree is struggling, you can see it's not
so
very
orange sherbet mango you are looking forward to?
Because I've tasted everything else basically, apart from that one from my garden and this one. So this one is for this year. Orange sherbet
this
probably
will be any day now. Like it's
yes, yeah, you can see it's started to change. Same with the I don't know how your mangoes are, but my Kensington Pride or Bamboo, it's
mine are very small, like less than 3 year old.
Okay, yeah. But you can see how they're getting that rosy color. You know, if you look at that one, see that rosy peachy color? That's an indication, as you know, that it's getting close to the ripening stages. So I would say, yeah, like a couple of weeks or so, you will start eating.
Why are you not covering them?
I usually leave them. I've never had a problem with birds or bats. The only time basically around this, when I start seeing color, that's when I cover them. Because that's when they start emitting the scent and the aroma, and that's when bats pick them. But up until I've never, in all that 10 years, never had a problem with bats. Up until when they become ripe and aromatic, that's when I can. So basically, maybe this weekend I'll cover them because they're becoming aromatic.
Thank you so much, Ahmed, for having me and showing me.
That's okay. So basically, before you leave, before you leave, my wife just made you a little something. Just you can't come here on and leave empty-handed.
After I cut this video, I'm running from here.
No, you can't run. You're leaving here with maybe 5-6 kilos extra. What do you think? I'm losing my six-pack. She just makes amazing food. Thanks for coming here. Yeah, don't forget to share, like, subscribe. If you like what you see, and thanks for Bilal for giving me the opportunity. And I'm a big fan of his. Before he actually contacted me, I was a member or a subscriber of his channel because I like what he does, and it's good to see fellow Sydney-siders try and
we need more people from Sydney sharing their fruit trees and
fruit trees, and to show what works, what doesn't work. Ben is doing it, and there's a few others, but not many. So it's like a small community of backyard fruit growers. Small community in the biggest city of Australia. Exactly. Come on. Exactly. So thanks very much for coming, and I hope you enjoy what we showed you today. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.